Hey there and howdy partners, it's Retro Repair Roundup, episode 24. This is the empty house stream, and as you can see, the house is extremely empty. And so, before we get started, I want to get some housekeeping out of the way. Remember to smash or lasso that like button and spur that subscribe button, so you know when we're streaming. But even on top of that, we stream pretty much every other Sunday, first and third Sunday of every month. So let's explain a couple things. We'll start with the elephant in the room. Where is Rudy? So Rudy has not been here for the past couple streams. Unfortunately, Rudy will not be here for the foreseeable future. He has some work-related things that are going on. That means he has to work basically every weekend from now for the next few months. Period. So he's simply not going to be available on the streams for a while. He hasn't kicked off the stream. He hasn't been kicked off the stream, nor has he really resigned or anything like that. If he becomes available again, he'll be back on. So that's how that is going. That all said, Ron wasn't supposed to be here because he had a prior commitment that then got canceled. And Sean couldn't be here tonight because he's also working because of very similar things of needing to work on weekends. So I put out a random link and people just randomly showed up. So our empty house is now a full house. So again, we don't have any real guests, so to speak, tonight. We're just hanging out, having, I don't know, a pre-Christmas party, pre-holiday party, if you want to call it. So that's what we're doing tonight. So I'm going to go around the room and let everybody introduce themselves, starting with my friend and partner in 8-Bit Crime, Javier.
Hello, everybody. So yeah, like Joe said, we're here in a big party, and I'm Habmaster. You know, I don't know anymore because I'm in Twitter, I'm in BitBang, I'm everywhere. So
you're bad. You're nationwide.
That's right. All right. So next is my friend Dave.
Dave.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave from Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. You might know me from doing Sunday streams, and these are a lot of my friends that I hang out with on a lot of my streams. So, and I'm nice that I was able to help fill in for Retro Roundup. I do not have a cowboy hat, but I do have an original Jurassic Park hat from McDonald's when they first gave them away. So there we go. It's a vintage, like me. So there you go. And let's see, this gentleman here.
Oh, hi, I'm Justin D. Morgan. I run a YouTube channel that is, strangely enough, named after me. If you want to go search the YouTubes for Justin D. Morgan, you'll find my smiling face as the channel avatar.
He's got the D and just... Wait, no, that's not right. Moving on.
I'm Retro Techie. My real name is Justin E. Morgan. That's why Justin had to put his name. I have a YouTube channel based on whatever I'm interested in at the time. My biggest collections are Apple and retro video games. So that's my thing.
Great.
Ron.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron. That's it.
We have a new face to our group. We got Will of KMac Vintage. How you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you very much for also having me on. I know I am the new kid on the block, so thank you. I am Will. I actually live in the Cayman Islands. I'm actually overseas, not in the U.S., but I do go up to Florida quite often. I fly into Miami, Jav, and I go up to actually West Palm Beach. So that's where I go to. So, yeah, I have a house up there too that I go to, and I spend some time up there. So anyway, I am new to the show, and I've been doing this since actually February this year. So fairly new, but I have a fairly large collection. I do have my channel also, and I do actually videos every day, just about. So anyway. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Cool. Welcome to the party, sir. And I'll have to say formally, thank you for buying absolute crap tons of Blue Scuzzies off of me.
Oh God, yeah.
Keeping my channel alive, that's for sure.
I think so far I've bought at least actually 20 from you.
Yeah, this is lots. But the last order was like 6 kits or something. It was
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
Um,
Six of them. So
Yep. So, like we don't have any like major, how can we put it, structure or plan tonight. I figure we would just kind of go off of. Does anybody have any very important subject matter, retro related, they want to talk about tonight, and that we can dig into in any detail? Ron had some ideas, I think, last week or the week before. If he wanted to throw his hat in the ring there.
Sure. I thought that it might be interesting to talk about something that has been talked about quite a bit in the media and then has been talked about quite a bit in our community, which is sort of the downfall of Birdsight and
Yeah.
and where people are going these days to make connections with other sort of retro enthusiasts. And Joe and I had kind of talked about, again, there's been so many people that have been heading over to Mastodon. There's been people that have been like better leveraging like Slack and things like that. And I'm just really interested to hear what other people are using to communicate these days. I know that there's some stuff that kind of gets entrenched. Like I know a lot of people use iMessage and stuff. Like it's like, I just got my group of peeps and we, coordinate and stuff through iMessage on doing things. But then if you have people that are Android users or if you've still got your Windows phone somehow, that is maybe not as handy as it might be otherwise. So I just wanted to say, yeah, good for you, Sean. But I just wanted to maybe have an open-ended conversation about where people are going. If you have decided that you're not going to stay on Birdsight, you're going to go somewhere else, where you're going, and then how you are better promoting what you're doing there. I would say I've had a lot of luck with Mastodon, just because it allows smaller people like me to kind of rise to the top in some of those conversations. Where I'm not fighting an algorithm, I'm not fighting advertisers, I'm not fighting other people for your attention. I can just put something out there, and then it can organically sort of make it out through the federated universe, so that people can kind of that are like-minded can kind of enjoy your content and things like that. I know that a lot of us here have a pretty big time investment in Discord as well. But I just think we should just kind of go around and just listen and hear what people are doing.
Sure. I'll start because I have an ego the size of Texas. I am awesome and love me. No, I'm kidding. But still love me. Anyway,
You're not.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. You can see from my colophon up here, my ticker, or whatever you want to call that thing. I have moved over to... not moved completely. There's Exodium, because Exodium had a really cool thing he wanted to talk about. I want to give him the option.
Hello.
So the thing that I have moved, I don't want to say moved. I have added my presence to Mastodon, and I'm not on BitBang like most of y'all are. Mainly because I started my Mastodon account before BitBang and then switched off another instance that was shutting down to something else, all before BitBang showed up. And then you guys all switched to BitBang, and I love Action Retro, and I love Sean. I love his work, but I'm not doing another Mastodon switch. I'm sticking with where I am right now. But I am on there. I also use Discord to hang out with the people that are kind of my little local group, and that's a thing. But I try to cross-post along the same content across all of that media, so that anybody who might follow me in one place or another place is not welcome.
Exodium, mute your keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's actually picking that up. My bad.
Yes. Well, we do know that you have like the world's craziest Model F, so yeah.
Actually, this is my quiet keyboard, so that's really odd.
I don't believe you. Anyway. That's kind of the thing. I think Mastodon, I agree with Ron. It has been a huge boon to smaller content creators, because you end up making, smaller circles, tighter circles, under, content specific worlds. But the ability to interconnect the different worlds together and follow people on completely different worlds is still there. I can follow my Star Trek nerd stuff on Mastodon, but most of the content that I'm seeing there is just other people that are not posting bullshit, for lack of a better way to put it. So,
and that's kind of true. Is that because Mastodon, if you're not familiar with it, it's a very Twitter-like experience in terms of like how you post things and all of that, but you have sort of like a local feed of things that are just going on kind of on your server. So if you go to a server that has a topic that like there could be a Mastodon server that specifically targets Hot Wheels collectors or something, or people that are that all they do is like leatherworking or whatever it might be. And those are the posts you're going to see first when you look at your local feed. And then you can look at your broader feed, which is kind of a combination of people that you follow that maybe not on your server, and then some other selected stuff that kind of gets shifted in there. And then you can look at the federated universe, which is basically anybody that server has specifically connected itself with, kind of in this net of private servers. So it's like drinking out of the fire hose. But you can find some really neat things there that you may not see just because it's like, okay, my server has a hyper sort of specialization and I can kind of branch out from there.
Yep.
That's all.
Other people have comments on that?
Yeah, I'm very confused with Mastodon. It's a real truth. I go in there, I try to use it, I see a lot of things, and then I kind of get lost, and then I just close it.
Well, I'm not on any one of them. I haven't even had time for me to even take a look yet. So, but I mean, now actually hearing this, it gives me some ideas to go and look. So
I know. Like for me, I'm on Mastodon now, on BitBang, and I think we're all connected. And then also, I'm still on Twitter. I'm still keeping that avenue open because I started out on that. I'm also on MeWe, but I don't really do a whole lot on it. I'm actually one of the admins on MeWe, so I have to approve a lot of stuff. And somebody made me an admin on one of their things, so I do that. Yeah. But
plus, I heard your doctor finally got you a pill for that, so that's great news. It's waking up in the middle of the night 7-8 times.
A night.
And this is proof right here that the show is not the same without Ron on it. Thank you for being able to stop by tonight, Ron.
Ron is the glue that holds it together.
Yes.
But yeah, Mastodon though, I'm liking it. I'm still learning a lot about it. The DM, I'm still having a little problem with the DM messages on it. And so, but like I said, it's been a positive experience on Mastodon because, again, like what Ron is saying, I've met a lot of people that are in our genre of our tech that we deal with that I don't meet on Twitter. And so you get a lot of people that want to friend you and that kind of stuff. And a lot of times I don't follow them, but the ones that share the same interests, obviously, I follow. But yeah, so that's been my experience.
I think with Mastodon, so one of the things I wanted to touch on this real quick. One of the things was I joined up when it was like things were first starting to kind of circle the drain with Birdsight a little bit, but then the problem is it really needs to pound home the fact that you need to find an instance or server, whatever terminology you want to use, that's compatible with you. Because I joined up an instance that I'm not going to say anything bad about that instance that I was previously on because they're good people over there, but they had some policies that kind of basically these people were here before we came in from Birdsight. So there was I've read a few posts about people who felt on Mastodon that this whole thing going on was basically their eternal September. Like, we have a bunch of Twitter people coming in, changing the culture actively as it's happening. And I think it's really important to find an instance that you agree with on rules and such, because the rules can vary wildly from instance to instance, and
Mm.
sometimes you also get people who, thankfully, fairly rare from what I experienced, but you post out to the federated feed, which is basically a public post. Sometimes you get people who forget, hey, the federated feed is every server in the federation. There's going to be people with differing rules out there, and sometimes they'll be like, why didn't you adhere to my rules? When it's like,
Yeah.
but I'm not on your server. And thankfully, I think that's becoming less of a thing, that things are kind of settling now. But
And
it's
and
one of those
and
things where I, like, on my profile, I put up a thing that said, hey, here's how I'm going to act. It's all in accordance with BitBang's policies, as far as I know. And here's how I'm going to act. If you do not like it, please feel free to filter me. Don't come at me, please, because this is just how I am. And it's going to be a bit of an adjustment, but I feel it's also important to set boundaries too, like that as well.
but Exodium does have kind of a unique experience with just starting his account so early. Is that one of his original servers he was on was mandatory full frontal nudity, and that is just for a lot of people. That is just sort of a deal breaker once that post makes it out
I'm
into the
there.
federated universe.
I'm there.
I couldn't pay the piper, man.
It's I mean, Exodium, you got a sweet piece, but the sometimes it's like you brush up against those other communities. They're just not into that.
Well, I think it all depends on what you're hoping to do with your social media and your presence, really. I have not started BitBang, Mastodon, Tyrannosaurus, whatever it is. At this point, I'm not there yet. I'm at that age that I've lived through, the web 1.0, when we're starting, like, GeoCities and things like that, where we put all of our interests and we just check out each other's pages and download, little audio clips that we'd find on The Simpsons or whatever it was at the time. I've done the ICQ, I've gone to the MySpace, I've gone to Facebook, and now I hear I'm very old because I'm on Facebook still, and Twitter. And I use each one, or Instagram as well, but I use each one because, honestly, for the purposes that I have, they're great. My Twitter presence is not so much me advertising my things as it is just to check out what other people are doing. I'm one of those, I'll call it more of a follower than someone who actively posts a lot, which is weird considering I have a YouTube channel. But I honestly just like to see what other people are saying and doing. I like to hear the inside jokes, things like that. And I have a separate presence for what I call the retro tech stuff that I enjoy, the old video games, computers, could be 90s VHS tapes, whatever it is. And then there's my personal presence. They're very separate. And I don't see myself starting a new one. I know this whole thing with Twitter and Elon Musk and everything has everyone upset. People are paying for blue check marks and this and that. In the end, personally, I don't think if someone pays a large sum of money and pretends to be Donald Trump in a separate account, I don't think here in Quebec it really massively changes my life. If he wants to run that whole company into the ground, that's his billions of dollars. He does it. All I do at the end, my presence is deleted or gone or saved in some archive somewhere, and I move on to the next thing that serves my purpose.
Right. I do think, though, that kind of not to discuss the political nature of all of, like, the Twitter stuff and all that. So, I mean, people like Musk, people don't like Musk, but it is one of those things where what I have personally noticed on Twitter since these policy changes have happened is that previously I had very sort of like kind of curated experience where I just saw my friends, I saw friends of friends, or I might see things that are germane to my interests that they were liking as well. And then some policy changes, and I started getting served stuff that I was like, well, wait a minute, why am I getting like fashion stuff, or why am I getting lifestyle things that I had never seen before? And it wasn't that people in my group were pushing that, it was just that the algorithm was sending me that. So that's why I do like places like Discord and stuff where you can have kind of that very curated experience. You put up exactly what you want to see, and things you don't want to see are very easy to sort of like compartmentalize or get rid of off of your feed. So I think that's and it's very possible. I don't know how bad. Not to discuss politics, but I don't know how bad Twitter and stuff like that got during recent elections and stuff in Canada versus what it did in the US. Like it just boiled over into like this really like nasty sort of thing here. And so it's just like the more I can stay away from that negativity, that's what I want to do. And I know a lot of people kind of feel like that too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to see Rob Ford memes 24/7. I don't want to see Justin Trudeau themes 20. Those are the two Canadian politicians that I know.
Well, actually, I just saw my first, porn images. Let me say that, raw images in Twitter.
Javier, if you need to talk about it, your mom and I are ready to answer any questions you might have.
I mean, I was looking at my normal Twitter, and I was going like, all of a sudden I saw a bunch of non-safe I've seen them before, I'm old enough, but I was not supposed or not prepared. It's not that I fainted or anything. I was like, oh, I don't want to see this,
So you were scrolling up, and then you were scrolling up, and it
came screenshotting.
From the bottom. I was cleaning it, and it went off.
Well, to be fair, though, we have to all know that these social media websites, applications, all that are there to make money.
Sure.
They're there. They are going to sell you advertising. When Facebook, again, I use Facebook. When it started, it was just people that went to Harvard initially, and then they added extra universities. When I started, unless you were in a college or university, you couldn't get in.
Right.
And then they monetized the whole thing. Like, we understand that's part of the agreement. You're going to be using it. We're going to be trying to sell you something or showing you things that people are paying us to show you. So you just have to always have that in the back.
It's almost like you're saying if you're not paying, then you're the product.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's as a new person on. I mean, the only thing I have right now is actually this here channel. I mean, I have not set up a Facebook for the channel. I have not set up a website, Twitter, or nothing. And I mean, I watch all of you here all the time. I've been watching all for the past 9 months, learning and that's how I learned the most. I mean, I think that the actually YouTube groups are, I mean, very, very, very good. Ron, I watch your videos like crazy about making actually images for the actually blue scuzzies that I buy from actually that one up there.
I said I was going to cry.
I mean, that's how I learned it. And I mean, I don't even have time for me to think about Facebook and Twitter and Mastodon and all these other things. I don't have time for it. And yet I don't work. I have actually retired, and
congrats.
So I have a lot more time, but yet I don't have time to do all that social media crap. Sorry to say it that way, but
it's fine.
It's all right. I don't take it personally.
You see, I mean, I like to have my own personal life. I don't mix it and that, but I mean, and really, I don't want this to get too big for me. I mean, I'm in it just for the fun of it and the hobby and the actually enjoyment. I mean, what I have done so far has just been people watching my channel and contacting me, and I have fixed some actually amazing boards that have been real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And really, that's it's just actually word of mouth. That's all. That's basically social for me. Word of mouth.
Go to his channel. Awesome stuff.
You're pointing at Exodium, right?
Yeah.
Well, there.
I mean, I agree.
We don't like Exodium.
Good way.
This guy.
Now I'm first. Yes. No.
Front row.
Yes.
I mean,
what row?
I see retro there with the Apple III, and I mean, I've got 2 Apple IIIs I need to work on. So one of them I have already. Another one is on the way to me. So
clicking the button.
I mean, I do have some interesting things coming up. So yeah,
that's great. But Exodium said you can just have that machine. It's fine. He'll just send it to you. He's running by Retro Techies tonight with a rag covered with ether. So.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Can I have it now?
Or not.
Too bad.
It doesn't even work. Right now, it's just you power it on, it goes deep and stops. So I have to take a look at it.
You know, that's about as useful as any Apple III, though.
I tried dropping it. It didn't work.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what
that's
are
how
you
they
really
all
going
are.
to do with it?
Every single one of them has had a rat or a mouse nest in it in the past, so yeah, you're going to be dealing with that.
The one that was sent to me came to me with actually feces of actually rat on it. I think there was a rat living in it.
Seasoning.
So it was a very interesting cleaning process.
Yes. Cool.
All right.
So, what else do we want to talk about tonight?
Oh, it's a lot of
We're
things.
just flying with no plan.
Well, Justin
What do you-
has a
what
new
do you- what-
studio.
What? Oh, sorry. What?
This guy above me has a new studio. He's putting together a new studio, and I think at the front of your house.
Oh yeah. Let me.
Yeah. OnlyEeps.com. Got it.
Oh, actually, on Dave's stream, we had OnlyFans show up.
That's how you know
For a
you've
bit.
made it, is when the porn
A
bots
minute
show
or
up.
two.
To
All right,
anybody
let
who
me,
didn't see Dave's stream, it was his camera pointed at a fan. That's the joke. Moving on.
Oh, okay.
Because somebody was being bad.
All right, let me pull up the photos as soon as I can remember what the which window I need to share.
Well, either way, you were doing a really good job. I like the layout you're doing. It
Oh,
seems
yeah.
to be a lot of work, and you're doing amazing job.
Yeah, it's coming together quite nicely.
So-
Was
His
approved.
dad is in that photo right at the back. You see it?
That's right.
That's his-
Who's
So
your
anyways-
daddy?
During Dave's stream, I had the two shelves in the back to put together, and now there's some things I need to refine here. But so I put the shelves together. I've had this bar. I bought this bar at the Habitat Restore,
Yeah.
and so it needs a little work. I know I broke one of the wood piece. Actually, it was almost
Shame on
broken
you.
before I got it.
Shame on
So,
you.
got to fix that. I'm going to set it up so I can set some computers on the top shelves. Probably wrap the bottom in wood because that way I can have some places to stash some things. But
Now-
anyways, I guess, and I'm going to raise the shelves in the back up so that you can at least see 3 of the shelves
Nice.
when I shoot video.
Yeah.
So
Are you gonna do
anyways-
lighting?
Yeah, I've got some studio lights I'll set up. Anyways, I kind of set a few more knickknacks on the shelves just to kind of give an idea of what it might look like when it's done.
Mhm.
But another thing I did, which brace yourselves, when you see my streams, you think my bench downstairs is clean. I don't often show
my
this,
God.
but the thing I wanted to show off is downstairs. I've had this new overhead system, and I have light stands to set it up. So I am actually in the process of setting up a new overhead rig to replace this one, the one that's currently over my soldering area, because the one I have now that I'm using, I can't put my microscope where I can actually use it because the legs of it are in the way. So I bought this new one that can actually span the entire workbench, which is actually, if you look, it's actually a total of 3 tables that make up one workbench.
Can I just add that I'm extremely jealous about how much space that you have? Can I
Yeah.
move in?
Can I die myself to that one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
same here.
so just to kind of give you an idea, so this is the overhead rig I'm going to hopefully get out of the way once I set this new one up. I need to do some more finagling, but anyways, so that's kind of what I'm setting up to try to improve production values.
That's cool.
So
Looks really, really good.
It is
Does
really amazing.
does Dave Murray know that you have stolen his idea for his like little thing? Because he built like kind of that I guess hexagonal like kind of design where it'll, you know.
there is one part of his setup I am not going to steal, and that's the octagon shapes in the background.
Oh, you got to do that because that's what everybody does now. Because I think Logan has them on his set, and then Sean
Epitronic-
Action Retro has them.
Oh yeah, Epitronics has something too. I don't know if they're octagons on his.
Here, you need to go hexagons because hexagons are the bestagons.
Okay.
I caught that reference.
Anyway, so that's what I'm trying to do to kind of increase production values. So
Well, that's great,
my next
man.
scripted video, I probably will start to use the new area, even if I don't have much on the shelves, just because I need to start using it. So, but anyways, that's kind of what I've been doing lately.
That's
I
great.
think you did a great job there.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
A lot of effort. You
Nice.
can
Doing
see it.
great.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
So,
Yep.
Absolutely.
And now the other bonuses in the hallway that's like right back here that you can't see. Those the two boxes that had those shelves in it are no longer in the hallway as a trip hazard. I won't say how long they were
no
there.
injuries. All right.
Yeah.
They were there until
Good.
you tripped on them.
Yeah.
Well, we all know that
Bye,
Joe
bye.
is the greatest setup, though. Joe, that washer and dryer is like that. Is that? Hey,
It's
Pretty great.
It's a nice washer and
world-
dryer.
World-class shipping station. There you
Oh.
go.
but it brings about a question. How have you all set up where you film? Like myself, I just have like this little room here, and I'll set up a table, and just, that's pretty much it for me. Like I haven't put as much effort for sure as Justin has, 100%. Like how do you set it up, Dave? You have stuff all over the wall where you are, obviously, that you meticulously put up.
Well, some things I do out in the garage on the workbench, and then there's some things that I do in here. It just depends. Sometimes I'll go down to the living room. We used to have a dining room table, but we sold it, so we don't have a dining room table anymore. So I used to set stuff up on that because the wife didn't like to clutter. So, I mean, I wish I had a dedicated room to make a studio.
I think he's lost it over there.
and
I never
that
had
way,
it.
because I have, as you can see, I have computers up here.
Yeah.
I have computers in my closet. I have computers in the chest of drawers. I have computers over there in the other drawers. So I, mean,
I do
just,
like Chester drawers. That's the
Yeah.
that is that's how they say it around here too.
But I just, it would be nice to be able to have everything nicely displayed. Oh yeah, I have computers over here too on the shelf too. So, but yeah. But I keep
You have
them all
computers in
indoors,
your
and then
computers.
the one that I'm making the G4 conversion project that's out in the garage. It sits on a table when I do the live streams because I don't want anybody to see where I'm at on it. Because a lot of times when I'm doing the live streams, I'm doing video. When I mute my mic, sometimes I'll do a little video on that. So,
It's your
and
recording.
then so that's coming along. And so when that's done, then I got to figure out a place to put it in here. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think space is always a concern for all of us that have the sickness. I mean,
Sickness.
some of us are a little bit more afflicted than others, of course. But yeah, how your space is set up can say a lot about you as a person. But it can also be deceiving. For example, my space looks all organized, but this is not what my brain looks like. My brain is, if you were born before like 1990 and know what actual static is on the television, that's what it is. That's my head. So I do like this to like be the opposite of that. But not all people are like that. Other people, it's just an absolute mass and they're scatterbrained, or they're the opposite. Their brains are sharp and tight and they don't need to organize because they know where everything is anyway. So it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's one of those, like, your space may or may not reflect directly, you, if that makes sense.
And if you're like Steve from Mac 84, he has a plethora of computers.
Yeah.
Now, to his credit, he has been organizing down in his basement. That's right. And
Not fair. He has help from a lot of bunnies.
and so anyway, and as he says, he doesn't have any sickness. He doesn't know what we're talking about. But although we did watch him today work on his Muller Mac logic board, and he was making some some progress on it.
Anyway,
It's really hard to keep a straight face with all these comments, but
I was watching those two molars for me to buy one of them. Now I'm glad I did not.
They're great. You
you-
just put it on a shelf and don't use it because there's better Macs that you can use. But if you want one,
Hey,
get one.
60 pounds. I can use that as an actually boat anchor down here.
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, they won't float. That's for sure.
I mean, it's actually already rusting, so I can throw it into the salt water and it will rust more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, does anybody have any really cool other projects they've been working on lately they want to talk about?
Yes.
I've talked about a lot of them, but you guys go first.
Let's have Will is new. We'll put you on the spot. What have you been working?
Recently I've done. One person sent me a bunch of boards, and
Hey, Rudy.
two of them were actually VI boards, which are kind of rare. And a lot of other people worked on them and could not get them to work. And luckily, I was able to get them to work for him. I've done a pretty bad bomb, actually CI for the same person, and then actually SI. So I got those done. Then someone up in Canada sent me a bunch of actually CI boards that they couldn't get to work, so I fixed those up. And also some CD-ROM drive boards.
Nice.
Then
So what you're saying is we now have another person other than me and Steve in the repair community who can fix SE30s.
yeah, I mean, well, I actually try. Okay, I mean, you gotta. The thing is with me is that I am very new to this. Okay, I mean, it wasn't until February this year that I actually started collecting them. Now I've been in the IT field. I've been a programmer. I've been into hardware and all this other stuff that you could do for my entire career. But getting down to the actually board level, component level, fixing traces and this and that, I just started that. And I mean, I do feel I am very comfortable with it. And I've really tried to get better with it. There's still issues I have, things that I don't know about, things that I'm still learning. But that's what the actually community is for. I mean, I do go on to actually 68K. I go on to Tinker Difference, but 68K is a bit better. Tinker Difference is a bit slow moving, and so forth. And I find more from talking to people on just different chat groups that I'm on, so that I watch. But
just make sure any special information that you get off of 68K MLA, just make sure you print that page to PDF. Because that page may not be there in 6 months.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of stuff's gone, or they actually had a crash a while back or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lost
more than
of
one
stuff.
sequentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I mean, I still have a CI board I'm working on, another VI that I'm working on, and then I'm hoping to do the videos on those two Apple IIIs. One thing I did, let me get it.
Will, that's very kind of you to repair a 2VI. That just seems, it's like, like that's a horse with 3 broken legs.
What? Actually, Apple III?
The 2VI. I said that's really kind of you to fix a 2VI because that's a horse that came to the vet with 3 broken legs.
I've also got 2 actually 6100s that I'm working on. That's one of them also with battery bombed and very bad trace damage up here on top.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one that seems to have something in the inner layer that's wrong, because when I push on the board at a certain spot, that's the only time that it will work.
So you just ship it back to the user with a pair of like really heavy clamps on it, and just say just leave clamps on it. It's fine.
It's got
Put a lead weight there.
It's going to go all the way back to actually Sweden, so it's got a long way to go. So, I mean, one of the things that I recently finished with for actually someone, he sent me a actually SE30 board, and you can see the board is totally naked. There's nothing left on it.
Yep.
Oh,
And
go ahead and put a content warning on this.
that
That's right.
board became this.
Oh, my eyes!
Oh, that's
That
nice.
board became this. So
nice.
I did an actually reloaded board,
Yeah.
Nice.
and it's all done and working now. And when I go up to Florida, 19th of December, I'll take it with me and I will ship it back to him.
Or just leave it in my house. No problem.
So basically, I took everything off of this board and I transferred them.
That's great.
That's
So
awesome.
and I've got some more of these purple boards, some more of the actually reloaded boards, and
Ooh.
there's actually 2 other people talking with me about doing an actually transfer for them.
Well, put me down for a third in the off chance I can't get mine going.
So
Actually, I gotta get mine from
it took me about 24 hours. Total time transferring
Not bad.
everything over. It took me about
It's-
24 hours.
It's not. Yeah, it's
Not
a
at one
slog.
time, not in one shot.
Right,
But
yeah.
I mean, I first day I think I spent about 8 hours on it, and then the rest of the time, by the end of day 2 I was testing, and by end of day 3 I actually had it up and running. So it went fairly smooth. I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, as long as you're comfortable soldering,
Mhm.
easy job. Easy job. So then, I mean, y'all were saying about space and this and that. I mean, if you look behind me, look at my curtains. They're actually red and green kitty curtains. I mean, this room I'm in used to be my son's actually playroom, but it's about 40 by 30, so it's actually a pretty big room.
Yeah.
Meters?
No. So, and I mean,
Hectares, Joe.
you can
Come
see
on.
some
catch
of my
up.
mess back there.
Oh, just space.
So,
I'm
I mean-
jealous.
I do have floor space. I do have a lot of floor space.
You can fit so many more shelves in there.
Oh yes, I can. But I mean, I don't like to have too much stuff in here. So, and matter of fact, I actually moved the table and my Apple II family out of this room into an other room. So,
Hopefully, a public room where everyone can see them and enjoy them every day.
well, no, they're in another bedroom that's not being used anymore. But I mean, but one thing I'm working on is that down here we do have a Mac store. It's not an actually official Apple store. Okay, but it's an authorized reseller service center and so forth for Apple. And I'm in talks with them to set up a lot of my collection in the store as an
That's
actually
cool.
display temporarily
Nice.
for them. And they're going to use it as a marketing scheme and that to get people in to come and see how Macs have actually evolved, how they became, and so forth. So it may be
That's
something
cool.
good. I mean, that's the thing. Remember, I live on an island, and we only have 70,000 people here. There's more people that go watch a football game of an actually good team, not a bad team, Dolphins. So
No sports. Sorry, I had to do
so I mean, there's not much resources here. I mean, I can't buy this stuff here. I don't have a store here that I can just go to and buy actually for me to buy solder. I can't. So I have to bring everything in from the States, and that's why I mean I use Amazon a lot. I use actually freight forwarders a lot. Like my Apple III now is coming. It is coming by actually ocean because for me to send it by air would have costed more than what I paid for it.
Oh, sure.
So, but I mean, I do have my stuff coming in, but I have to buy it all. I have to buy it all from the States, except one item that I bought out of France. I did buy an actually tech step.
Oh,
So
wow.
Nice.
instead of paying $2,000 for it, I only paid actually $300.
2,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Good deal.
Nice.
So
What?
that's the thing
They
I
were
got
like-
out of France.
$80.
So, and yeah, this is it here.
So I'm gonna
Nice.
so every new person on the show has to pay a tribute, and your tribute is the next
Oh,
Here it
no.
comes. Here it comes.
Oh, no.
One of the projects that I'm working on with a friend who is a fellow collector is actually these ROM cards. I actually have all the stuff for me to make them, and the ROM images and everything, and then dump them on here. So because I'm actually missing one. I am missing volume 4, so I still got to make that.
Oh, that's the one where you find out who's the father of Jessica's baby. So you're definitely going to need that.
I would really love to be able to see somebody clone the actual unit itself, but there's a lot of custom ASIC hardware in there, so I don't know.
Actually, there is one being worked on, from what I am told. There is one
Give.
being worked on.
Give me occur, make exist now in hands. I'll do it.
And the same person that sent me those 2 actually VI boards and a lot of the other stuff in the Apple III of his that I'm working on that was actually rat infested. Anyway, he's also a part of that project team that is busy making one of these better. So
Nice.
That is awesome.
Wow.
That is great
so
news.
we may
man.
have something new soon.
Nice.
Nice, very nice.
Awesome sauce.
So anyway, that's it for me. I'll pass it on to someone else.
Cool.
I think I spoke enough.
Does anybody have any really cool thing they're working on lately? Because I have a non-working on thing subject that I'd like to discuss.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to compare to that though. So that's pretty high end. The closest thing I have, I picked this up and I did a couple of videos on adding storage or SSDs or SDs to iMac G3s to make them a little faster. So what's better than running an iMac G3 off of one SD card?
Oh no.
So I picked this thing up right here.
We need to make you big for this one. This one is classic.
Okay, so I picked this thing up right here. So it says it's 4, if it would focus, but it's not. Okay, so it's 4. So you open it up. It's SATA. As I pop it open,
Oh,
and it takes 4 SD cards, and it converts
Like
it to SATA.
waiting
Yeah.
modes?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So it's 4 32 gig cards. So I'm going to be taking that. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. I don't know, a review of this. I don't really have high hopes for what this is going to do. It looks quite slow considering it's run off of SD cards. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't decided what machine. Should I put it into, I don't know, a Mac Pro? Do I put in something older? And then I haven't decided.
Put it in your gaming PC.
My laptop?
Yeah.
But everything's soldered into my my gaming laptop.
Get a SATA to IDE adapter and then put it in like one of the older G4s or G3s that has a 128 gig drive limit.
Like layers to layers to layers.
I just think it's awesome.
Conversion technology.
Why not?
SSD, yeah, exactly. But it actually recognizes one volume. When you put it into a computer, it recognizes one internal volume.
Yeah.
And I don't have any high hopes it's going to last.
There's something with that because actually, I saw like a YouTube video or something about it, but there's something with the SD standard where it's like it's gang. It will gang all of them, kind of like where it's like just byte 1, byte 2, byte 3, byte 4, and I mean it's not super reliable, but I guess
It's like sort of RAID 0, kind of.
yeah. Just put all your tax documents on it and quit being a wimp.
That's my backup drive.
Yeah. That should be interesting. See what I can do with this.
Just be like, that's fine. There's all of Grandpa's, person, or like it's our only copy of Grandpa's will.
That's all you need.
Well, like I said, the only thing I've been working on project-wise, other than, Sean out, he's in the chat there. He gifted me a Mac SE. Basically, I just had to pay him for shipping. It was very nice of him to send it to me, and it just needed a little love. So I did it on the stream. We took it all apart, got everything all nice and cleaned up, retrobated the cover and all that. Put it back together. The original hard drive was, as you know, the SCSI drives, they die. And so there was no hopes for that. So Joe, I got a blue SCSI from Joe. He printed me one of these really cool, it's this guy right up here actually. This little, from Potato Fi, the little adapter that you put in the back of the SE. So all you do is put the slot, or the actual SD card, there's a little slot, you put it in there.
Yeah.
I got big fingers, so I took my little tweezers and pulled it out, but I can put it in. But anyway, it is a really neat thing. And so today, the guys helped me on the stream. There you go.
Tape
helped
on
me.
it. That way you don't have to.
Yeah.
See? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Cool. No, it's good.
Go ahead.
You put tape on it. I didn't think about that. Good idea. But anyway, Garth and Eric, they were doing some images, so I got the one that Garth sent me, and it works just fine. And I was letting it run toasters all day on it there, the screensaver on it. But it's very, very convenient, neat little gadget. In fact, all the 68K Macs I have, they all have blue SCSIs in them. I have quite the collection of LCs. They just kind of been gravitating toward me lately.
I have something for your LCs to talk about later, sir.
Ooh, okay.
Oh yeah, Joe, I did forget. I do need to get some more SCSIs from you about 40 of your PowerBook.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, the other thing that I've been working on is this thing that I got in my mind to do is take a basically a parts machine, a MacBook G4, and just just have it all out in the open. And but my thing is to basically make all these little acrylic parts for it, so it's raised up off the back plate that it's going to be mounted to. Is going to be all acrylic. It's going to have cool lights in it. It's going to hang on the wall via magnetic mount. And the screen's all going to be suspended on it. The keyboard was the hardest thing to engineer to work out to where you can use it. So I made up a hinge system where when you have it hanging on the wall, it's down. But then when you flip it up and you'll be standing, it'll be sitting there, and you get little things that flip down that keeps it so you can use it. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on part 6 video of it. I'm going to milk it as far as I can, all these videos on it. So that's what I'm working on.
It's the curse, whatever.
I just thought it'd be kind of different. It's still functional. It's Wi-Fi. I've got an mSATA drive in it. I've got Sorbet Leopard on it. Works really great on that system.
It sounds delicious.
I love Sorbet Leopard. I have that on all my G4s and G5 Macs. Works great. And so that's what I've been doing. And then I guess I'm lucky. All my machines work. They're not broken.
So sick of you lording that over us.
like my iMac.
He says this every stream, and I keep saying, "Then you come here and fix my 2 Mac Classics that are busted."
And so, I have my nice little flower power here, and I had to rebuild the drive on that, and so the Dalmatian I have in there, and that's a lot of fun. So these work fine, and these have dual partition on them, so they have the OS9 and then Tiger on them. So that's what I've been doing, and of course doing the Sunday repair streams. We all have a lot of fun hanging out there. We have a lot of new people that come in.
That was a long thing today, 8 hours. Jeez.
Oh yeah. Oh well, we've done a 12-hour one. That's the longest you can do. That YouTuber will record it. So that was our Halloween stream. So yeah. So, but it's just reason why I do it on Sundays is because Sundays a lot of times there's just everybody's kicking back, relaxing. People go to church and stuff, and the rest of the day they're kind of kicking around. So a lot of times when I'm on YouTube, that nobody's streaming. You're watching all the videos and stuff. So that's why I do it on Sundays. That's my
Hang
time
out with
slot.
friends, as I like to say.
Yeah,
Going to be
absolutely.
goofing off doing computer stuff anyway. You might as well do it online with friends and have fun.
Yeah.
Well,
I was
fun.
watching it at the same time that I was doing repairs, so I was doing the same thing all day long.
Yeah.
And Ron's just doing repairs right now, so
I see that.
All right. I'm actually
Jeez, Ron.
I'm testing this SE thing I got a problem with. So
Zodium had a really cool thing that he wanted to talk about regarding SATA on PCI.
I mean, not that he's able to bring up a picture to go with his. Prove me wrong.
Actually, he can.
So if you want to make me big and biggin me, I can kind of go over things.
You are the biggest.
So I have a post up on Thinker different.
Aha!
Tinker different. I mean, think different. It's Freudian slip right there. But I made this post because, well, some time ago I had this dream, and some time ago, being around June, I had this dream of building the most overkill Power Mac 9600 that I could make. It's kind of a homage to my old Power Mac 9500 because they're very similar machines internally. And I figured, I was looking around, I was like, I need something that's going to be a decent drive for this, because the problem is, normally when you say, I want to replace the SCSI drive in my machine with something, usually the default is blue SCSI. The problem with blue SCSI, though, is that when you get up into this age of Power Mac, the blue SCSI really starts to kind of show its limitations, because I have a big old spreadsheet right here of all the benchmarks that I've done, and we can see the blue SCSI is kind of capping out at 1.2 megabytes a second. So for these newer Macs, and newer kind of funny term there, that is quite slow, and if you try to load in games like Unreal Tournament, you're going to be sitting there forever and ever till the end of time. Now, I do want to make it clear, I'm not trying to say Blue SCSI is a bad product at all. It's really good.
I mean, it's okay. I've already contacted Eric, and the squad will be by your house shortly.
But I find that
I know where you live.
I know you do. And also, you sell the Blue SCSI, so you're going to come after me for lost business.
You know it, baby.
Anyway,
Know it.
so
Anyway, go ahead.
Blue SCSI is great for older Macs, and it's awesome. Like, I've used it in my Quadra 700. Awesome product. Works great. But when you start getting up into early Power Mac, and it's kind of depending on what you're doing, it starts to show its limits a little bit. So
I'm gonna, before you go, and I'm gonna add, it's not just Blue SCSI, it's SCSI generally. The SCSI bus on those machines has, I don't know, general limitations on the bus itself, even on the fast SCSI buses. So continue.
So I started thinking, okay, well, what can we do? So turns out, Googling around, there is a SATA card that Sonnet made, I believe with the help of a company called Ciratech. They made a card that works in these old Macs, and the way it works is kind of funny. It presents itself to the Mac as a SCSI card. So it works exactly like a SCSI card would in this Mac, so it works natively all the way back to 7.5. It's ridiculous. So it's quite nice because you can use modern drives with these machines. You don't have to worry about, oh boy, do I have to find a SCSI drive, or do I have to pay out the arse for something else that I'm going to talk about later. No, you can just slap in a cheapo SSD off of Amazon. It'll work perfectly fine. Or you can grab a cheap DVD-ROM drive. Those will work perfectly fine.
I have
SATA.
used them. I can confirm that.
Yeah, and Action Retro, somehow he's doing it with a different card. Speaking of, he's here. So he's doing it with a different card. I really am curious. I need to go back and watch his videos on it again, because I'm really curious of how he's doing it. So this guide I wrote on Tinker Different that was linked was basically me going around trying to research this, because my first attempt at trying to get this done failed, because I was actually, and I'm not going to, this may sound like I'm blaming him for this, but I was actually following the advice of DOS Dude 1, who was helping me out a little bit with this, and he's actually been flashing SIL 3512s, which are a lot less picky with what chips you use. The Ciratech firmware that the Sonic cards use, they have this weird DRM-like thing that checks what EEPROM you're using, and if it isn't one of these 3 approved ones, it won't load. It'll be seen by the computer, but any drives connected to it will not appear. So these chips are actually, I believe all of them are, one of them can be found in stock, I believe it's the PMIC one, but they are going, I believe, end of life. I could be wrong on this. So they are plentiful right now, but I'm not sure how long that's going to hold. So got this all sorted finally after looking around everywhere, and as was alluded to earlier, I had to cobble all this together from 68K MLA because some of the threads were gone. Some of them had incomplete information. So I kind of just said, okay, I'm going to go through this myself and just document everything as I would personally see it. And we kind of go through, here's what works, here's what doesn't, and what can I expect, what cards to get, because there are AliExpress ones that do work. I've actually tried them. The soldering job on the AliExpress ones is a bit suspect, and I've actually had to retouch the solder on them to get them to work perfectly fine. There's also some things with like 3.3 and 5 volt chips, but I've actually been running the chips, just straight swapping them onto the AliExpress cards, and they've been working perfectly fine. So I don't know if I'm overrunning them or if the cards are fine, but thus far they've been completely and totally fine. And we also have to have the programmer and all that wonderful stuff. Basically, go read the guide if you want to see more. But I put together this whole sheet to kind of like put everything up to see how just crazy this is. And currently, the only option, if you right now, and I say this not knowing what's coming down the pike for Blue Scuzzy, but for right
Joe
now,
knows things. Continue.
Joe, you're not supposed to say that. Now Eric's going to come after you. Now, so
I didn't say what I know. I just said that I know things. Continue.
So currently, the only thing out there has been the Zulu Scuzzy, which has been getting about 8 megabytes a second read. Write is 3.5. That's a pretty all right. But then we go look down here at SATA, and we're looking at 21 megabytes a second read, 27 write. And those access times are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that can even hold a candle to this is ultra-wide SCSI, which I did check with a, I believe it was a 15K RPM drive. Pulls very respectable speeds, but the access times kind of suffer a little bit. But yeah, it's crazy how kind of, I want to say how easy this is if you know how to hot air and you know somebody with a EEPROM programmer handy. You can do this so easily. You just need the biggest barrier to entry is getting the EEPROM programmer, because those will cost you like $50+. And when you're talking about that, plus the card, plus the chip, you're getting close to $100.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Okay, sorry for interrupting. Just because I feel like I've done the flash for a couple of cards like this for Power Max though. Is it the same? Are we talking the same thing? Because I've taken like some of this. I've taken cards with SIL 3112, and there's on Mac Rumors. There's a whole post about this, about flashing those cards. Is it the same process, or you actually have to change your ROMs, or is it not the same exact?
So okay, so this is gonna get really. I'm gonna try and keep this as down to earth as possible here. So.
Hey, Exodium, remember, this is a 2-hour show, buddy, okay?
So basically, with regards to the SIL 3112, far as I know, there are 2 different firmwares for it. And I've already talked about the one, but there's another one, I don't know how to pronounce it, Weebtech. But that one is OS 10 only. And that one can actually be flashed onto any damn chip that you can find that'll fit it. It doesn't matter because it doesn't check what chip it's on. Now, I'm not sure about the Mac Rumors stuff because I haven't actually seen that post. At least if I haven't, or if I have, I don't remember it off the top of my head. But if you get lucky and you have the card with the proper chip already on it for the Seratech firmware, you can just slap it into a PC, and there's a program called Flash ROM that'll allow you to write the ROM to the card that way, and you don't need a programmer, as long as you have a PC on hand. The problem is a lot of these... What was that?
I was just going to say, I think you're right about the different firmware, because I'm pretty sure that it would only run things natively on my Power Max in OS 10, and it would not boot up in OS 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and... The Weebtech firmware is a lot more forgiving on what chip it goes onto. So generally, like if you say have an MDD or something that you only plan to ever have in OS 10, then that's the way to go. But then you have fun stuff like what Action Retro does with his Beige G3, where he has the classic on a traditional, I believe, on the IDE channel with a disc on module. And what I believe he has to do, and I'm recalling this from memory, and I'm kind of getting tired, so I'm sorry. But what he has to do, I believe, is he has to boot into like kind of a bootstrap kind of OS to be able to tell the machine to then boot from the SATA card that is OS 10 only, if I have that correctly. Whereas the SIL 3112 just sidesteps all of that with the proper firmware and chip because it's recognized on literally everything from 7.5 up to, I believe, 10.3. So it's very nice. But again, the only problem is, once again, it has that bit of DRM in it. I'm not sure if that DRM is intentional or there's something else behind it. It would be nice if people in the community who have some know-how with this could dig in and see if they could crack that open to where it'll be more forgiving of what chip you put it on. Because
let me get my PowerPC disassembly kit out. Oh wait.
But yeah, it's really awesome, and it opens up the Power Macs to some really crazy stuff. And what's even better is the Power Mac 9600 is a machine that is ultimately very, very held back by the bus speed, and I believe that was even a criticism of it even when it was new. It was very held back by the bus speed. So if you put a SATA card in something like an MDD, like even the SIL 3112, and you run SCSI Director on that thing, you're going to get close to 100 megabytes a second with an SSD. It's crazy fast, and it's really good. And it's awesome because, like, because the optical drives just work like they should. Because I know SCSI optical drives are becoming harder and harder to find in working condition. So it's nice to be able to kind of sidestep those. The only thing you lose when you do that, too, is CD audio. But if you have an app like Audion or iTunes running for Classic, it loads it over the data bus, so you don't have to worry so much about that if you're trying to play audio CDs on your Mac. That's the only limitation I can think of. Of course, because this isn't really supported, quote unquote, some things can go weird. I've had drives mysteriously drop off for no reason whatsoever, only to come back later. It's really weird. It's kind of a little unstable, but it's one of those things where the payoff is worth the risk, because being able to use modern drives is awesome with these machines. Of course, you kind of lose the one of the things I love about like the SCSI solutions too is you can just pop the SD card out. You have the drive image. You can just drag that somewhere like a NAS or something, and boom, you've got your machine backed up. It's much easier to take backups. With SATA, it's not so easy.
I think you need something like this, something reliable that will last forever and will be around when we're all gone.
I am very, very curious to see like how those SD cards are addressed. Like, is it like JBOD or is it like rating them somehow?
It shows up as one drive, as one partition.
That's what I'm kind of figuring. It's rating them somehow
did you have
or
to
another.
reformat the cards or something, or does it not care?
I plugged it externally, through USB to a MacBook. Well, my 2008 MacBook, and it said you have to format it to use it, but then I didn't format it. I checked in disk utility. Again, it showed as one partition, one drive, just unformatted. So I just formatted for Mac, and seems to work.
Crazy.
Probably for a week.
But what a week, man.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I had a subject that I wanted to talk about that's actually gotten a lot of press lately. Thank you, Exodium, for your presentation.
Thank you.
I gotta ask, so did the check clear yet?
Did the check? Well, hold on. Yes, you're good. Moving on. It's kind of been a thing. I'll start this conversation only because I don't want to say that like I started the ball rolling, but I kind of sort of maybe nudged off the cliff. Quite a long time ago, I was looking for a way to get plastic, PLA plastic for vintage classic Macs.
Actually, Joe, it's
and-
PLASTIC. But
Oh,
sure,
stop
go
it.
ahead.
PLA, stop it. So anyway, so I was looking for solutions for that, and I got a little a color matcher, and I got a clean inside surface of a Mac that had not yellowed at all, and I color matched it, found that the color code, because when you order stuff, it's best to order with an industrial color code like RAL or Pantone. I found that the best match was RAL 7044, which we'll talk about this in a little bit as well. And so I got some plastic, some PLA, from a Dutch company that makes RAL coated plastic, RAL coated filament. Got it shipped over here, and by God, it's good. It is just hair off.
It's like
It's insanely good. It's not exact because it's
Chef
going to be
kiss.
difficult to get that, but it's right on there.
it's
The
so
downside
close.
is it costs $100 to get it in North America. You know, like a normal spool of that stuff is like $21-22. So that is incredibly insane. So we did a couple of group buys to try to get the price down per roll down to, you know, like $80 or $90 instead of $100.
Yeah.
And that worked well okay for a while. But our wonderful friend Kate Fox, the Macintosh librarian, wasn't going to truck with that. And so she worked with Polymaker. And did a lot of pushing on them to say, hey, we need to get this done. We need to get this done. And she happened to get them to make that filament, to make a direct color code match of that filament. And she had them like make her some, but she said later that she's like, hey everybody, they're like selling it on Amazon now. Here's the link. So now, if you want this filament,
Yep.
you can go to Amazon.com, look for Polyterra PLA Muted White is what they call it, right there. You can't really see it. I'll see if I can find a link here in a minute. And it's pretty gosh darn good. The upside to this, it's like $20 a roll, not $100. So, chef's kiss. The downside is the color is not quite right.
Mhm.
The color fab RAL 7044 is still better. However, if you're gonna want this stuff, this is pretty gosh darn good. Now, while I fetch the link, I'm going to switch to this so you can kind of see the color difference. On the right is the color fab, and you can see it as a much closer match here to the actual color of the Mac plastic. And this here is the Polymaker. It's a little bit darker, but it's still kind of in that right color gamut, right?
Yep.
So it is really a good deal. So I'm going to see if I can fetch this Linkadoodle real quick. Here it is. Link.
That's really close there, Hav.
Yeah, again, it's not exact, but it's very close.
It's good. So there's the link there. I have to admit, this is my affiliate link. So if you get it through that link,
And for $20, guys,
I'll get a little bit of that. If you don't want to give me affiliate link, just copy the AZI in number.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Just
I'll
copy
copy
that
the
and search for that there, and you can get it. But
way
yeah,
too
this
rich.
is that color match stuff, and it really is pretty close, but it's not perfect. But if you're wanting to do a 3D print of something, for your Macs, here in the United States, this is about as close as you're going to get. I've tried some other colors. There was another manufacturer, I don't remember who they are, that was way off from this. It was, the color, the Mac Platinum color is a little warm. It's a little on the warm side, the yellowy side, the reddy side. But a lot of these you find are a little bit too on the cold or the bluer side.
Mhm.
And so they just don't fit. This, from 10 feet, you're not going to notice. That, you have to be on top of it to notice.
And
It's
honestly,
ridiculous.
once I put my Macs in the storage unit, that is the distance I see them all at. So that's perfect.
Yes.
Once I say, why the hell is this still
Well,
taking up all this
yeah.
floor space?
This
Perfect.
talking about that, I asked a question a few hours ago regarding this issue that I have with that spray can that you showed, Joe. Okay, so that's a great paint. That's an exact color too. And I painted a few items a few weeks ago with that paint. And like you say, the upside, it's a beautiful color and it paints very nice. The downside for certain people, maybe like me, is that I, up to today, I still can smell the plastic. It it
Wow.
It's still curing.
it's still curing.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
so how many years I have to wait until it cures?
And,
You'll be
and I,
happy
and,
the entire time you're waiting, though, Javier.
Like a month? Yeah.
and I gave you a solution how to rectify
Yes. And Dave
Yeah.
gave me a solution. Go ahead, Dave.
that. Well, like you said, the paint. Okay, so a lot of this is an enamel and acrylic based paint.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of enamels will gas off for a long time. That's what they call it. That's the curing agent that's mixed with the paint. A lot of times that's exothermic, but for some of it, it takes a lot longer to cure out. So the best way to do that is if you had a nice, really hot summer day, like in the hundreds, put it out there. That will make it gas off a lot quicker. That will cure the paint. All right. But if you don't have that, and what I told him is if you have an old oven, put it on just where it's warm. That's about 200 degrees. Put it in there for a couple hours, and that should make it cure out. The paint's hard on top. It's just inside of it. It's gassing off. And enamel paints are worse about that. Acrylics, not too bad. They're pretty good. They're pretty stable in that respect.
Yeah.
That's why, like automotive, when you smell like a new car, it still smells like paint because it's still gassing off. It's the type of yes, exactly, just like that. So it takes time for that to to the touch, it feels hard. It doesn't feel tacky or anything. They can wax it, but
So
internally, it's still leaching out.
I guess the real question is, Javier, why are you complaining about that new Mac smell? It's people
Because it's an
buy
Atari.
air fresheners for their car specifically to get that.
If it was a new Mac, I wouldn't care, but it's an Atari. So
Oh, well then forget it.
Yeah.
Have you smelled Atari today, Javier?
remember, I'm a Rifa sommelier, so it's not Rifa.
Javier, I painted quite a few things in the
Yep.
past few months, and I mean, what I've been doing was that I leave it out in the sun.
I left this thing 4 days in the sun.
4 days out in the
4
Miami
days
sun.
out in the sun, in straight sun, and it still reeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
I
takes-
think
it-
Florida man would have came by in that time and taken care of that for you. But
And I'm telling you, I was my daughter came to my office once and she said, like, "What's smelling over here? Like, take that out." And I said, "Oh my god, that bad it is?" Yeah.
I'd be like, "Hun, you're the one that made enchiladas for dinner. Come on." That doesn't
Yeah.
seem.
I'm
That seems
Mexican,
like
it's
a
beans.
YP, not an MP.
Or you can just use your Glade plug-in right by it there and keep
Yeah,
it, mess-
exactly.
hide the smell.
You see some
Yeah,
pepperonis.
I've had very good luck leaving the stuff out in the sun now. I mean, I leave it out there for actually a couple days, and after that, the smell is all gone. So
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the first,
and it's probably a lot of that too. Depending on what batch of paint that is in that whole lot,
yeah.
it has its own characteristic. Yeah, but that's how you can, like I said, if you have an oven, that'll take care of it a lot faster.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Have to
It's
do
just
that, yeah.
you don't want to put it in your good oven, but yeah. Well, but your wife's out of town, so she'll never know. So there you go.
Why does I'm baking and everything smells like a car?
God, I did that once. I had to use like some sort of like body filler type of thing on my kitchen floor in the old house, and for years the inside of my refrigerator smelled like body filler.
Well,
Anyway, moving on.
if you do use your oven to cure out those parts, just keep one thing in mind. Make sure you remove them before your wife goes to preheat the oven to bake something, or
Yes.
you're going to be in the doghouse
Mhm.
and digging melted plastic up off the bottom of the oven.
Yeah, mostly. Or getting a new one.
Or getting a new one.
Yep.
So
Cool.
another thing that I was going to tell you guys is that pretty
Oh,
soon
dude. Yes. Big screen for Javier on this one.
the
Very
news
cool.
is that this is an Apple emulator. I don't know why it's giving me this error, so you don't worry about that. So I'm creating this little 3D printout for the computer, for the emulator, but they're gonna be sold by Chris Torrance's store,
T6502.org, baby.
Yep.
Yay.
So he's gonna be selling it pretty soon, and they're amazing. Look at the size of that. It's really small.
I want one.
And he's sending them from Hong Kong right now, and they're gonna be selling pretty soon.
And this emulates a 2 Plus, right?
No, 2E.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Apple 2E. It's giving me an error. I don't know why, and I need to figure it out. But this is the small version, and then the large one, it's actually a lot better, bigger. Okay, if I can turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
And it emulates everything. It recognizes WAS images, and you can play with it if you have a keyboard, like a wireless keyboard, or you connect a USB keyboard to it. You actually can play it. Let's play Droll. Come on.
My question: can I hook up an original disc 2 to it?
No. But you have an SD card, and you can put everything you want in the SD card. As you can see, it's reading the SD card right now.
I take it
Roll in
supports
there.
WAS and disk and PO files, all the standard files.
Yep. Yes, most of them. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna go the other side. Oh, they kill me.
I got a question.
Yep.
What's Action Retro going to be able to do to one of those to soup it up?
I'm telling you. Look at that. So I'm playing with it right now with a wireless keyboard.
That's great.
Now I got plans for this. You know that. I already talked to him, and we're working on a small keyboard. And when I say small keyboard, is the size of this keyboard and a joystick. So we will have something better. But he's gonna be selling this card also. This emulator.
You've already sold one to Sean from Action Retro. He wants one.
Okay, yeah. I'm telling you, Sean, you're gonna love it, and it's in a few weeks. He's gonna be in I don't know how long, but yeah, it's pretty soon in tt6502.org. I think he already put them up,
Yeah, it is actually. I just checked it out.
and I'm actually gonna be doing the 3D printed cases. So if you want to buy cases, also I'm gonna sell them.
Cool. Awesome.
There it is.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
There you go. No, there you go. 79. It's not bad, guys. This is a full-fledged emulator in a very small package.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
So,
That I cannot wait for K-Fest. Everybody's gonna freaking have one.
yeah.
Like this
Okay.
is now my portable Apple II.
But it needs to be in like a Pip Boy case, like a Pip Boy thing for your arm. Everybody, like, hold on, guys, hold on. I'll be at dinner here in a minute. I'm trying to get my highest score on Choplifter.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that you can do a lot of things. Anyway, that's part of the. I'm trying to show. Oh yeah, there it is.
Cool.
Show
That's way cool.
that you can select other files and all that. So it's not only one game. Okay.
So what is that? So basically, it boots to sort of like the booty, like a menu to then select your disk image. I couldn't really see.
Yeah, it's just like the W drive. Remember the W drive?
Right. W drive. Yeah,
It's
because
just like
isn't
that.
this is HKBoo is
Yes.
is this? Okay, great.
Yeah. So he did that, and so he just did this one too. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, you know it's gonna be good. That's way awesome. I'm excited.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, Sean. We know there's not really much room to thunk on one of those,
There
but
you go, Sean. Anything you
we
want?
have high expectations for your
Do it.
video on this.
Do it! Do it! Do it!
I can't really do a really good impression of that.
Do it!
Yeah, there you
right.
go. There's
I have a
Joe
green
can.
screen cloth back here. You want me to get it? Well, not to steal your thunder, Javier, I have a really cool thing that I wanted to show off tonight. That I got final confirmation testing of it this evening, and it works. So we're going to show it off, and I have approval from Mac Effects to show that off tonight. So that is this right here, and a lot of you are like, "Well, that's just a thunder card." But if you look really closely in the corner, what is
Make
that?
yourself big.
What is that? Make myself big? Okay.
Yeah, we're having make the
The other
card big.
There you go.
Yes. Make the card big, Joe.
There you go.
Oh yeah, great.
Welcome back. So, were you going to ask a question, Ron?
No, I was just going to wow about
Oh,
it.
okay. And the big change here is that I worked in to use a socket here
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
just a soldered in chip,
Yes.
because the socketable FPU chips are much easier to get.
Yes.
So confirmed, works perfectly. Not only that, we have scores there, so you can see how it would improve your machine. Mac Effects will have these available relatively soon. I don't know when. I have to get files to him. He does magical Chinese building things. Yeah, that's basically, that was the big thing that I wanted to show off tonight, that we got that done. You don't need to
great.
see my face removed from Solo Layout. The
Very
other
cool.
thing that I'm working on is I got one of these little things lately called a DuPal, or a PAL chip duplicator. I still have to do, I've got some assembly to do on it, as you can see, and some programming and stuff. But this is going to help me out in the future, because then I'll be able to duplicate PAL chips and program them over into replacement GALs and ATF chips, so that I can, I don't know, recreate weird things like that and more stuff like that have custom PALs on them, or maybe, be able to dump the PALs out of an Apple III and reprogram them.
I was about to
Have
ask
those
that.
so you can replace those. So like lots of potentially cool options there. This thing is, what this thing does too is this isn't just like a regular old card reader that tries to read it out. This will read security blocked PALs by systematically going through every possible combination, bit input and output combination, and mapping it out, and then creating a JED file from it. So it's actually really cool. It just has an Arduino, well, we call it Arduino, a Mega 328 chip here that does a lot of the logic-based brute forcing. Then you bring it into an analyzer application on your PC that like takes all that raw data and combines it together, and then you can use that to program modern chips to replace your dead chips. So that's really cool. Javier has graciously said he's going to send me one of the first chips to copy. I have a bad chip in my Franklin Ace 2000, and I literally took his PAL chip out of his and did this process, but manually, because I couldn't yank it out. So I literally I turned on individual address lines and then like read the data output and wrote it down, and did that for 256 inputs, and it took me like 2 freaking days to do it. And I was able to make a fake version of that using a ROM chip, but having this and being able to go click, 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 okay, program, and have it done is super duper awesome.
Neat.
So yeah, that's going to be very helpful in the future. And my final little stupid thing I wanted to talk about again are Y cable adapters, which will be coming to my website too. If you have an Apple IIe card, but don't have the Y cable, because nobody has the freaking Y cable because they were in schools and they disappeared, you'll have an option to replace the Y cable for your Apple IIe card for your Mac LC. That's it. That's all I got as far as toys and goodies I got. I'm done being egotistical. Yeah, lord it over us.
I think I know there was a company that made those at one point, but I think they stopped. From what
Yeah.
I've heard.
The
And the
cables.
card.
Option
And the
A.
cable.
Yeah.
Option A.
And there were some clones of there were some cards like these that were on eBay for a while. And I have one. I looked at it and it was subpar construction. It would only work with like a floppy MU because they didn't even connect the 12-volt power rail. So that was a thing. It also had something that was not quite one of the sense lines wasn't correct, so it wouldn't work with floppy drives even if the 12 volts was there. So yeah, you have to be careful with that. This has been confirmed to work on floppy
Worked on
EMUs and real disk drives.
Worked on mine.
And it comes in two versions. It comes in the IDC-20 version, so you can connect an old school floppy drive, and it comes in the original DB19 version, so you can put the correct drive on it if you want to do that. So, yep.
Also, there is a fat-free version, which is it tastes just like the regular one.
A fat-free version, yes.
Yep. Yeah.
And
vegan options of twos.
Ooh. Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Sack is saying something. There's another new get, isn't there? There is probably. I don't know what it is. If you want to yell at me about what I'm supposed to be remembering because you happen to remember it, Jeremy, please do that. So, yeah. Dude, I'm scatterbrained. I had to literally set all the stuff I thought I had right here to my left, or else I wouldn't have thought about it. That's just like literally. It's just like I've got a pile of stuff down here, just like. That's
and I think Herb's still there in the chat.
Oh, the
Just
Nabu, yeah.
That Herb is the one who made me did this.
It's Herb's fault. Blame him.
It's Herb's fault.
Yeah.
Blame Herb.
I'm curious also, what are you planning on doing with the Nabu?
I don't know, to keep it, to have one so it's preserved, basically. There's a gentleman, DJ Shores, whatever, has been doing an absolute crap ton of work in the past 2 weeks, and he's gotten these boxes from being basically a useless box into something you can boot over its original network interface in a couple weeks. Absolute, just the best thing ever. So pretty soon we're gonna be able to connect things, download things, run the things. You can run your own little local server. He's been working with the original people who developed it, and now has copies of all the original software. So you can load all of those original Action Retro. Yep, boom. There you got CPMs booting on Nabu and all that stuff. So I want to get it to see. I wanted to see how easy it might be to get some sort of, how can I put it, some sort of SCSI interface to work with it, potentially with CPM, so that we can have external flash media like Blue SCSIs. I'm not trying to create a new market for my product. That's not actually my product. Shut up. So yeah. So I have the Nabu. It's over there. It's still in box. These things are sealed in box. Never touched before by human hands. So imagine.
Except for when they were assembled.
It was created by robots.
Yes.
From another planet.
Robot. Yes.
But I find it such an interesting thing that it was only, again, from the video that from Adrian, that it was only available in Ontario. I find that such an odd concept that it was limited to one province in Canada, and they made this many, and then it just kind of fizzled out.
So, the tape on mine wasn't cut, Tom. So I don't know. Maybe they just sent it. Maybe mine won't work. I don't know.
It's possible.
Mine looks perfect.
Just
the box
start shipping them.
But yeah,
I heard
Retro Techie. It was probably because wasn't it associated with a cable company, because you had to have some sort of coaxial cable connection to get the data, and back then I would assume that it was there was this huge nationwide network to transmit the data nationwide. That's probably why it had the limited reach. It's similar to the Cube system we had here in the Midwest, in parts of Missouri, in the late 70s, which ended up becoming Warner Cable, which ended up becoming Time Warner and Roadrunner, which is why we now all have cable internet. You can thank the wonderful state of Ohio for that technological invention. Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Well, one bit saying that apparently I'm too young to know about Video Way. With the accent, I'm assuming it's something Quebec only. I've never heard of what Video Way is. I'm assuming it's something Videotron. It'd be interesting to know if they did make something similar out here, because I would actually be looking for it myself.
Well, there is a website. I'm going to see if I can find it here real quick. Yes. They have, if you go to nabu.ca, they have, it's currently redirecting to the NABU Network Reconstruction Project, but they're eventually going to wrap that up into a more official thing. But it's got a lot of data on the website there about like the network head end and how they connected it, the phases of how they ported it all out, and this and that and the other. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
There's another one out here. I just looked it up. Trying to find StreamYard. I just looked it up. Videotron. Exactly. That's a cable company out here. So it's fairly similar. The Wikipedia page I found is all in French, but it looks pretty similar.
Aren't you legally required to know French there?
I speak French. I don't think all of you speak French. That's why I want to give you the link.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to translate it, or
Retro Techie, voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
No, my wife won't let me sleep with you, Ron. But yet. But yeah,
I was gonna say I'll just keep trying.
I'm gonna look this up actually, see if I can find something out here. Very interesting though. It's just very an interesting piece of tech, and to find something that no one, I'm sure some people knew existed, but pretty much no one knew existed, and now suddenly it's become this phenomenon in retro computing. I think that is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think to me that's more exciting than I like seeing all these new things you're all making, but to find something from the past that no one's heard of that existed, or not many people have heard of, at brand new in box.
Those are the best. Similar to the Usagi Electric saga he had with the Centurion machine. It's this weird little niche corner that was very important to a lot of people, but just that small lot of people, not worldwide, whatever. Yeah. But to be able to have that connection be spread out so more people understand that, just it richens the pot. It adds more flavor to the soup, so to speak. Macintosh Librarian, hi.
Yeah,
there's Keith.
I recall when I was living in the States, as a kid back in the early 80s, and actually Florida also, that town we were in.
I'm glad you made the separation there.
Well, it kind of
Florida. It is kind of its own thing.
I remember we had an actually Intellivision video game, and we could connect it to the cable system and get all the games that way too, and that. So that was fairly something similar to the actually NABU. Because you could do a lot of stuff with it that way also.
Similar, wasn't there also something similar? Was it Britain that had the Wii C system or something like that?
I don't know about Britain. Here, geez, it was it was just 20 years ago that we finally got TV. So
CFAX is one of those.
Yeah, CFAX.
But I do recall something similar to that in the early 80s that was in actually Florida that had the same thing.
We have a heartbeat.
Yay.
I was going to show you guys the new things that I've been working with FujiNet people, but it's not working. I got the latest, and it's a beta, whatever, and I tested a few hours ago, and now it's not working.
I blame Rudy.
Minitel. One bit Viewer Streams is asking about Minitel. Minitel was around for a long time. It survived well into the internet era too. Where a lot of the BBS. Minitel was like France, but it was. Yeah. It stretched it a little bit outside of France a little bit, but it was mostly confined to France. And like I said, it survived well into the internet era when BBSs and systems like that died off, because it did the internet before the internet existed. Yeah. Basically, it was very well interconnected. So
I have an idea.
But there were a lot of
things that were set up for accessibility for the blind and hearing impaired and things like that. Like CFAX stayed around forever just because they had to get the regular internet stuff up to speed for accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
These Nabus could be the new social network for all retro computers, right there.
Yes.
Once everyone has one, they can communicate via the Nabus.
Are you on Naboo? Oh, you're not on Naboo. Well, then who the hell are you?
Now I feel bad because I didn't buy
I guarantee you,
a Naboo.
they're going to make a Naboo communicator application that will only
With the
work
Apple III emulator.
over that through the internet through a special server.
Yes,
Yes.
I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. There it is. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just be left out unless more come up for sale and I manage to buy one.
Well, that's the thing is supposedly more will be available shortly. He's just trying to clear the decks on all the stuff that's already been, all the orders that have already been placed.
Yeah.
So just be patient. I'm sure
They
there'll
found
be more.
Oh, I
hundreds
can be
of
patient.
them. Hundreds. There's lots left. So
I'll drive out
Yeah,
west.
I just-
save shipping.
I can't necessarily immediately buy the next new thing that Adrian talks about on his channel because if I did that, I'd be broke.
I like one bit comment. One bit's comment's great. I like that.
Well, I guess it was nice being on your Mastodon instance then, Action Retro, unless I can get a Naboo. I'll just have to be patient, though.
Those Naboo scalpers are horrible, though.
they're not that expensive, aren't they? Like $75 or something. I don't remember.
They were.
Last I checked, with shipping and all that, though.
It was a good price, but I was actually trying to finagle another computer at the time, which
Oh, no,
I didn't manage to get that
literally,
either.
Like, go back and look at my sales history. I don't freaking remember.
I think they were like $60 plus $20 shipping
Yeah.
for the unit,
research
and the adapter was the same as like $60 plus $20 shipping.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, my total it's 60. Yeah, exactly. It's $60 plus shipping. My total was like $97.44 to get it here to Ohio. So it wasn't too bad. I mean,
That's not too bad. I mean,
look at
instead
that.
I'll
Look at
just
that.
have to be content with my TI presenter here,
Yeah.
which has a really weird color scheme when you power it up, and the splash screen is like purple and black. It's really kind of garish. Like,
Well, it's TI.
it's
They don't
yeah,
have
it's
any-
TI.
They don't have a
But-
stylish bone in their bodies. You've seen their freaking calculators. Kids are using them as Game Boys. We could design them to look really, really cool like that, but no, they're just these hyper technical chunks of plastic.
Yeah, Joe. I've seen their calculators. I might even have just a few of them, maybe. I do not have a problem. I promise you, don't have a problem at all.
You got issues.
And I might have more
This
on
the
the
next
way.
Steve.
I might have more on the way.
Next, Steve. Yeah, but see, here's the thing: is that the calculators don't take up anywhere near as much space as image writers. I mean, you can fit like 40 of those calculators in the space of an
but-
image writer. So you
got
just go to
5,000
town.
calculators.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, though, I mean, like this calculator, 68,000 processor in it. This calculator here, and I promise you, this is actually a calculator, not like a
That was a Steam Deck.
68,000 processor in it.
I'm willing to bet you could probably make Mac OS run on that.
Actually, on this one, I probably could. I think it's got enough RAM on it.
Yeah.
To
You just have to modify the ROM slightly so it knows where all the hardware is, and be like, okay.
And then I wonder if you could run CPM. Well, I don't know if it's got enough RAM to do it, but there's a Z80 in this calculator. I wonder if you could run CPM on it.
Dude, CPM will run on any Z80 if you get it an input device and an output device, it'll work. It doesn't care. It's like, here's my character input device. Here's my character. It's like two addresses and maybe a third one for storage. And it's like, all right, let's go. You don't care. It does not care. It runs on everything.
Yeah, I don't know about TI's latest graphing calculators, the ones that run Python and have color screens and whatnot. But these are some of their older ones, and they're like all Z80s and 68,000s. It's really cool.
It's like I have here's my graphing calculator. It is 400 quadrillion times faster than that TI.
Oh, I'm
Also,
no
mine's
doubt.
connected to the internet, so I can just look at the. I can just cheat like.
Yes, but when I was in high school, not to necessarily
Date yourself?
wrong one. Not to necessarily give away how old I am, but
Sonny.
yeah. This was the closest thing I had to having my own cell phone in high school. And that's well, this is a TI-82 like the one I had. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I got Joe, is that a TI? Oh, is that 82? Yeah. In fact, in high school, I got the class superlative for most likely to use a TI-82 in real life.
But you see, I was the kid who was in the out crowd because I ended up getting the 82 and all the other kids had the 86. So they were able to run Z shell and C shell and copy games across to each other, and mine couldn't do that.
You suck.
Well, that is one good thing.
You're too much of a nerd. You're not a nerd enough. And now now look at me. Look at how I've risen and how half of them are all in prison. It's great. Meth, by the way, meth is a really killer drug. It just don't do it. Anyway, moving on.
That is a hell of a drug.
And I was just going to add that the governor's school did one thing right, and that's they required everyone to get a TI-82 calculator, so that there wasn't any of that.
There's no infighting BS.
Yeah, everyone's got a TI-82. It's all the same to use. Anyone can help anyone use it. And they even did a thing where if you were an incoming, actually I think any student, that they did a bulk buy at the beginning of the year. It's like you can come in and get one at the bulk buy rate, and it was cheaper than you could go to Staples or whatnot and buy one. It was really cool. But yeah, everyone had the same calculator. There was no infighting. Anyone can help anyone use it. And
you know what? I just don't see there
Well, I've
being a
got one
real
now.
sharks and jets kind of situation, over calculators. But,
Yeah,
my school, buddy.
I would say.
you could be surprised there, Ron. You could be surprised, especially when you have a school where there's 11 different schools that feed into it, that are not all even in the same school district.
I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. The number of people in my class, in my graduating class, who have rap sheets is outstandingly large.
So
Like,
you're
I'm 30 years out of school, 20 years out of high school, or whatever, however long it's been. I don't freaking remember. I don't know. It's decades ago. And like, I run into them, and they're like and everybody has their own role in life, and that's all fine. But like, a very large number of them are like running the gas station. It's like, all right, I guess that's where you ended up. But
I was
these,
gonna joke.
well, I want to say these are like the people that are making fun of me. You know, that typical high school bullshit. And I'm like, I run a multi-million-dollar corporation, so screw you. Anyway,
speaking of which,
sorry.
Joe, I've been meaning to talk to you about a non-secured personal loan. Mr.
Talk to you
I'll
talk to you on Discord after.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
But anyway, moving on. Enough of me and my dumb ego. Yes.
Yes, I agree.
There you go. The cool kids had
Yes,
games
have
like
some.
Pokemon trading. We had TI calculator linked cable game transfers. She gets it. She gets it. Yes.
Yeah, I should have had a Pokemon. I suck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Javier did not catch them all.
That's why I have 2 TI-82s at my disposal.
Oh no, it was no Pokemon.
Someday there will be videos on these.
Crap that would die on you. What was the name of that little thing that would die on you?
Tamagotchi.
That one. I got Tamagotchi. I didn't have enough money for Pokemon.
Pokemon, gotta catch him.
True. You do have to catch them all, Joe.
Yeah.
We'll wait.
No.
Like the flu.
Oh yeah, and then the blue ones, the TI-81, baby. Yep, the first ones. Mm-hmm. The old school. Yeah, the OG. Yep. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Anybody else have anything else they want to talk about in this random free-for-all, quote, empty house stream tonight?
I also fixed a TDK power supply for an LC, and I put a short up on YouTube.
Yes.
So if anyone else out there, and I've actually heard from a few people, they're like, well, my main switching MOSFET died in my TDK power supply. Well, go check my short out, and the part number is in the description if you can get it. But, I don't know how many Mauser might have in stock. Hopefully you can still get them. But anyways, I found a MOSFET that's compatible and fixed the TDK power supply, and it works great. So
That's great, man.
Sweet.
Videos on the 475 that I'm working on will probably be Marcintosh fodder, but I wanted to get the short out there since I found a part that works.
Yeah.
And at least I've validated that, yes, there are other people in our community. They've got these power supplies. The MOSFET failed. Now they might have a chance of fixing it.
That's cool.
Yes. Kate has a question about the Polymaker Color PLA. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Kate, before you hopped in.
You missed it.
Yes. And I'll show you here on my screen. That's kind of the color difference. Basically, so this is the Polymaker. And this is the REL 7044 from Color Fab. And you can see how, it's just closer. It is a better match. The
good.
Polymaker, however, when you consider the cost perspective there, right? The fact that it's $20 and not $100 is a huge boon right there to anybody who wants a color match. Of the several that I have tested, it is number 2 behind the Color Fab REL 744. This is number 1. That's number 2, and everything else is a distant 47th place. I mean, it's everything else is either literally right on the gray spectrum. It's not warm or cold, so it just doesn't match, or it's on the cool end of the spectrum, so it's blue and it stands out. This is at the very least warm. It's in the correct warmth end of the spectrum. So again, I think that this, for anybody who wants to do quick PLA prints, anything like that at all, to match their Mac stuff, it's not a bad choice. So that's my opinion.
Great catch, Kate. I agree. I've been printing with it. I bought a bunch of them because of the price. So I love it. And it's a great PLA. Mm-hmm. And by the way, thanks for your, I reach out to her because I also want to get them to make a color for the MacBooks.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yes.
so I got my color emitter and I send them the value. And let's see, the person that it's funny, Kate, the person that you told me, he doesn't work there anymore. But they send it to somebody else.
You authorized a new color for what?
Yes. So yeah, this is the color sensor that Javier and I use. It's a little Bluetooth color sensor, connects to an app on your smartphone, and you just set it face down on the thing, and it picks up the color, and it gives you the color in multiple different color standard formats that you can then give to whoever you want to do color matching on.
Yep.
If you're going to be doing a lot of that kind of thing, those things are really cool to get. Keep in mind though, they're not. I wouldn't say they're necessarily some random hobbyist tool to keep in your back pocket. They're kind of expensive. Are they like $200?
Like
I don't
that,
remember. They're not cheap. They're not like
if
like
you do
Pantone
and all that,
$600 pricing or anything like that. They're not cheap. So if you're going to be doing a lot of color matching stuff, that's the thing to get.
Yeah.
Nix Mini 2. I'll see if I can get you all a link to.
But thanks to Kate, maybe we will get also.
Oh my gosh! The price went way. They are currently on sale for 33% off.
Ooh.
Boom jam! There you go, baby.
Nice.
Again, that's my Amazon affiliate link. If you don't want to buy it from there, you can just copy the AZIN number, which I'll copy in, and just search for that if you want. But yeah, they're normally $99. They're on sale for $65.
Nice.
And they're accurate, man. They match.
Yeah.
They work. This color code, for example, this is that Polymaker code. This is the actual code that the Nix puts out for that. And I think my testing may have been wrong on the Nix, and that the color fab, I happened to just luck across it. Because if I had followed this color exactly and tried to find this exact color, it would have been too dark. So the Nix, it does a really good color matching job. So.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I've got something, a pretty cool discovery that I recently made working on this Macintosh SE. It had a tiny little black Lego hand inside.
Love it.
So it's very possible if you run across Luke Skywalker, just let him know I'm going to just put it in the lost and found, okay?
Duly noted. Duly noted.
That's
The
hilarious.
token from the Token Ring Network. Oh man, that is excellent. That is so cool. Cool. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours. Show's usually an hour and a half long, but we went a little bit long to hang out tonight. Anything anybody else want to chat with before we wrap it up for the evening? Yes. No. Yes.
Maybe
No.
so.
No. Yes. No.
Chilling.
Okay.
I'm good.
Just to say thank you for actually having me on. I hope I can
Absolutely.
join more often.
Yes, absolutely. We wanted to, I've seen a lot of your work recently, and also as a thank you for buying, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of product from me recently. I figured we should formally invite you into our weird little circle of nerds and crazy people. So welcome, and you are absolutely never going to get out of it now. Jeremy's Billy Shack is get DJ Shures to be on the next Triple R. I am going to reach out to him and ask if he wants to be on a show. We have the next several shows already lined up, with the exception of maybe the very next show, because that's so close to Christmas. We were thinking about doing a Christmas special. But after that, we're lined up until like February. But by then, there a lot of cool stuff will come out. So we'll see. But yeah. So
I'm always Saturdays, Sundays doing work at home too, tinkering around. So I'm always here. So.
And you're closer to me, so maybe I'm going to be sending you stuff instead of Joe.
I come up to Florida about every 2 months. So I come up and I bring things back up and I pick up things to take down. So.
Hey, Joe, you're fired.
No.
I'm fired.
No.
I'm not sending you stuff. No, not that.
Oh, no.
Not that fired.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you're
Joe,
tired, Joe.
Joe,
Oh,
Joe, he meant
Javier's
out of
fired.
a
Okay.
cannon.
Got
Wait,
it. Mhm.
was that too obscure of an SG-1 reference?
I don't think we heard it because we were busy laughing at me being a jerk.
Oh, okay. Moving along.
Okay. All right. And the final thing is on our Christmas special, we have to wear Santa hats. So make sure you have your Santa hat.
All right, I will.
Yeah. Fire retro techie. Okay.
Hey!
No, seriously. So, end of the show, final run through. Everybody gets to basically do their quick, shameless self promotion. Again, my name is Joe Strossen, editor of Joe's Computer Museum. I very rarely, but sometimes occasionally, do actual scripted videos on YouTube. But most of the time, you'll find me streaming either on my channel or my friends' channels or here on Retro Repair Roundup. If you really, really, really like the things that I do, you can help support me, like Will of KMac Vintage does, and buy hundreds and hundreds of dollars of Blue Scuzzies from jcm-1.com, or other cool stuff like these cool little these things right here. Oh, I forgot to show this thing off. Yeah, that thing. Maybe
I
we'll
saw it
talk
on Twitter.
Yeah, we saw that.
But yeah, you can get cool stuff like that. Replacement keyboard encoders for your Apple
I got
III.
some of them too.
Very soon, some of these little things, just cool little things for your retro computers, and I'm working all the time to try to expand that so that more people have cool things to keep their old computers running. You can also find me on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to the patron Discord. There's other cool tiers there as well, where you get like gift cards or mugs and stuff like that. But with as little $1 a month, you can be on my Discord, and then sometimes I will post the links to the StreamYard chats. So my my Discord, all my followers can just be on my stream sometimes, so that's cool. And then finally, you can find me on Mastodon at Museum Joe at oldbytes.space. That's my space, and I'm done. Javier, you go.
All righty then. So you know who I am, Habmaster. Follow me on YouTube. Don't type Habmaster in YouTube. Just follow me on YouTube. Okay. And then 8-bit tees, the best T-shirt on the world.
Like
And,
this one right here. That
that's
shirt
correct.
right there, 8-bit tees, baby.
And I used to have this one, but I think they took it out. So I'm gonna be selling also covers for the little computers. So stay tuned.
Cool.
And you know, that's it. 8-bit tees. Go ahead, Dave.
Dave!
Hey, I'm Dave's from Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, and you can find me on YouTube, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. I'm also on Twitter. I'm on Mastodon. I'm on MeWe. I also have a Patreon, just like Joe. $1, $3, $5, whatever you feel comfortable with.
$100 million.
Yeah, you can do that too. You can do a one-time PayPal donation. That's fine too. Or if you don't, that's fine too. Whatever you like. I have a spring store. I have a lot of cool stuff in there for December. A lot of things I don't normally have on there. Good stocking stuffers, and you get a 5% off anything. When you load your cart up, you can take 5% off the whole order. Pretty cool. I also Kiwits. I have a link on KM601. I have a 15% off. You go to any of my live streams, go down to tools or Kiwits, you click that code on any Kiwits product. It doesn't have to be the meter, anything they sell, you get 15% off of it. And I think that's it. Yeah. And I stream every Sundays. Most of these guys are on my streams. We're gonna have to wrangle Will. We're gonna have to wrangle Will in there now too. So there you go. And but I do videos, do shorts. So, but my main thing is YouTube. Justin.
Yes, I am on YouTube. I decided to put my URL with my shiny new tag in it down there, so you can go. I do videos on lots of different retro computers. I don't discriminate. I do Macs, I do PCs, I do Ataris, I do TI-99s. I work on them all. So if you want to explore the computers of my generation, check out my YouTube channel. I know we are in December, which means DOScember. So my Emerson PCs are going to be featured in some videos. They are really cool. In fact, Joe helped me save one after I messed it up. And one of the videos I will be doing this month is on that repair. And also, if you would like to help support the channel and help me buy some vintage Garbo, which is my new name for it.
Vintage Garbo, I love it.
Zodium gave me that term. So you've given Zodium some things he puts in his profile, so I stole Vintage Garbo from Zodium. But anyways, I have a coffee page. Tips are accepted. I do have some computers I'd like to buy, and you can help me get those. And actually, those might actually help some videos this month too, because I have a few bit parts I need. So check that out. I'm also on Patreon. Links are usually in my video descriptions too. So now I guess we'll go down to Retro Techie.
All right. I don't have any coffee or Patreon or anything like that. I just like to just share everything that I enjoy. It's a very selfish way of being, I just realized. But I like to show videos about video games or, photos of different VHS, things like that. So if you'd like to follow me, I'm on Instagram at RetroTechie, Facebook at RetroTechie Official, Twitter at RetroTechie, website retrotechie.ca, because I'm Canadian. And if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's Retro Techie. And honestly, I just post things that really just interest me, whether it's going out thrifting for old technology, finding old software, computers, CRTs, game consoles. Again, Macs are my first love when it comes to retro technology, but I'm in for everything retro.
like this.
Especially that.
Do you have any idea
Cherished.
how much it weighs?
6 pounds.
I mean, it's pretty close.
Probably.
Cherish the thought of
50%
Retro
lead.
Techie having a .com domain name.
.ca.
Uh,
Canadian.
okay, I am Will. I run actually KMac Vintage. I only have YouTube. I don't have any other social, so don't even bother looking for me there. You just don't have time for it. I collect a lot of the computers that I work on. I enjoy fixing them. I take hours to fix them, restore them, and try to get them as good as possible back into normal life. I don't sell anything. I don't have nothing to sell yet. I don't know if I'll ever get into that. So, but anyway, watch my channel and just help me grow. And I'm here to teach others, and so that they can learn how to do it. And just to have fun. It's something to do because I do not work anymore, and I needed something else to do. So I am here. Thanks.
Awesome.
And Ron, take us out.
Oh, hi. You're still here? No. Actually, I'm having a hard time. Whatever this F code is here. But anyway, hey, just make investments in kindness this week. Remember, this time of year, a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff. So just take an extra second just to be nice. That's it.
And give me just a second. I'm going to put up that link to that filament again because somebody requested it.
And yes, I did buy an actually Kawitz, but I haven't even used it yet. It is still brand new in there.
You'll like it. It's very easy to use, easy to
Yep.
read.
Makes a great flashlight too.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I did test it out, but what I think there is an actually defect with this one because the actually volume is very low. I can barely hear it beep. So that's one of the main reasons why I actually haven't used it. I have my older one here that I use. So I think I'll send it back to them and see if they will change it out for me.
They will. Just send it back. They're very good about that.
Shit is
Just tell
good.
them-
They do a good job.
Yep.
All right. Well, I believe that is our stream tonight. Thank you, everybody who stopped by. All 14 of you who stuck around. We really do appreciate you all like dealing with our crazy. This has really been really cool. A lot of cool new faces that on the stream tonight, and it has really been fun. Remember to lasso that like button and spur that subscribe button so you know when we're going to be doing stuff. And of course, when you hit like, it shows to YouTube our content to other people who watch content similar to the content you watch. It's a hard way to say it, but basically it helps spread the word, and then more people become part of this super awesome community, and things that are awesome happen many, many times. So thank you all, and have a good evening.